Something big happened, an event that's making headlines around the world and raising concerns among global leaders. In the skies near Taiwan, tensions soared as military aircraft appeared on radar, drawing the attention of both local and international observers. China sent its powerful H-6K bombers and J-10 fighter jets close to Taiwan, practicing for a possible conflict and demonstrating their military readiness. This military drill was broadcast on Chinese TV, showing off their advanced planes and capabilities to the world, and sending a message of strength. The H-6K bombers can carry nuclear weapons, making this a serious show of force that cannot be ignored by Taiwan or its allies. The drills included blocking airspace and precision strikes, simulating real combat scenarios, and sending a clear message to Taiwan and the world. China considers Taiwan a breakaway province and wants it back under its control, seeing reunification as a core national goal. Taiwan, however, has its own government, democratic elections, and a distinct identity. Many people there want to decide their own future. These flights increase tension and draw global attention, as the world watches for any sign of escalation or miscalculation. The United States, a key ally of Taiwan, is obligated by law to help Taiwan defend itself, and regularly supplies military equipment and support. So, when China flexes its military muscle, the US and other countries take notice, monitoring every move and preparing for possible responses. This isn't just a local dispute, it's an international issue involving major powers, with the potential to affect global stability. The world is watching to see if things stay peaceful or escalate into something much more dangerous. China's message is clear: we're strong, and we're ready to defend our interests at any cost. Taiwan's message is equally clear: we want to make our own choices and protect our way of life. The US message: we're watching, and we'll help defend Taiwan if needed, keeping a close eye on every development. These drills are part of a long, tense story between China and Taiwan, a rivalry that has lasted for decades and shaped the region. Every move in this region has global consequences, from economic markets to international security. The situation is delicate, and the stakes are high for everyone involved, with the risk of conflict always present. What happens next could affect peace in the region and beyond, shaping the future for millions of people. That's why these bomber flights matter so much, and why the world is paying such close attention to every development in the Taiwan Strait. Let's meet the key players in this tense and rapidly evolving situation. The decisions they make and the way they interact will have consequences not just for their own countries, but for the entire world. President Xi Jinping leads China with a firm hand and a clear vision. He is determined to bring Taiwan under Beijing's control, seeing it as a matter of national pride and historical destiny. For Xi, reunification is not just a policy, it's a top national goal, and he's willing to use every tool at his disposal to achieve it, from diplomacy to military pressure. President Donald Trump, leading the United States, is focused on projecting American strength and ensuring fair trade. He's also committed to supporting Taiwan, balancing U.S. interests in Asia with global stability. His relationship with China is complicated, mixing fierce rivalry with moments of negotiation and uneasy cooperation. President Lai Ching-te, elected by the people of Taiwan, stands firm in his belief that only the Taiwanese can decide their own future. He represents a new generation of leadership on the island. Lai wants peace, but he also insists on readiness to defend Taiwan's democracy and way of life, rallying his people to stay vigilant. China labels him a separatist, making dialogue difficult and increasing the risk of misunderstanding or escalation. Marco Rubio, the U.S. Secretary of State, is America's top diplomat and a key voice in shaping foreign policy at this critical moment. He reassures Taiwan of continued U.S. support, even as President Trump negotiates with Xi behind closed doors, and works to keep allies united. Rubio's words and actions are crucial for keeping the peace, calming tensions, and sending clear signals to both friends and rivals. These leaders' decisions, strategies, and even their personal relationships will shape the future of the region for years to come. Each has their own vision and priorities, but their actions are closely watched by governments, markets, and people worldwide. The stakes are incredibly high, and every statement, every move, could tip the balance toward peace or conflict. The world waits anxiously to see how these leaders will handle the crisis, knowing that their choices could change the course of history. Their decisions could mean lasting peace, or spark a conflict with global consequences. That's why understanding who they are and what drives them is more important than ever. Timing is everything in international politics. The smallest shift in the calendar can change the entire outcome of a negotiation or a crisis. When world leaders gather, every move is scrutinized, and every action is loaded with meaning. China's bomber drills happened just days before a major summit between President Trump and President Xi in South Korea. The world was watching, and the timing was no accident. By flying bombers near Taiwan, China sent a strong signal: Taiwan is a top priority. The message was clear, and it was meant for both domestic and international audiences. This was political signaling, using military action to send a message before high-stakes talks. It's a classic move in the playbook of international diplomacy. The US and China were already locked in a trade war, making the summit even more sensitive. Economic tensions were running high, and both sides were looking for leverage. China wanted to enter the meeting from a position of strength, reminding everyone of its red lines. The show of force was a calculated move to shape the agenda. The drills added pressure and complexity to the summit. Every participant knew the stakes had just been raised. President Trump had to balance trade negotiations with security commitments to Taiwan. The U.S. position was under intense scrutiny from allies and rivals alike. The world watched as military maneuvers raised the stakes. Newsrooms buzzed with speculation about what might happen next. China's message: don't forget Taiwan. The island's fate was now front and center in global headlines. The timing made the summit more delicate and the risks higher. Every hour leading up to the talks was filled with uncertainty. Every move was calculated for maximum impact. Behind closed doors, strategists weighed every possible outcome. The skies over Taiwan became a stage for global power politics. In this high-stakes moment, timing wasn't just important, it was everything. China's military drills were carefully staged and widely broadcast. The Eastern Theater Command sent H-6K bombers and J-10 fighters to practice air blockades and precision strikes. Chinese state TV showed dramatic footage, including bombers flying close enough to see Taiwan's coast. The message: China's military is close, capable, and ready. These drills were a public display of strength and a warning to Taiwan and the U.S. China called it a test of their commitment to national sovereignty. The use of nuclear-capable bombers made the message even stronger. This wasn't the first drill, but the timing and publicity made it stand out. China wanted the world to see and take notice. Taiwan's response to China's show of force was calm and measured. The day after the drills, Taiwan's defense ministry reported only a few Chinese planes in the area. Their message: no unusual activity, no panic. Taiwan downplayed the event, reassuring citizens and signaling confidence. By reporting only 4 Chinese aircraft, Taiwan suggested China's announcement was more show than real threat. Taiwan's military remains on alert, monitoring the skies 24/7. Their calm response was strategic, avoiding escalation and showing readiness. Taiwan's leaders wanted to project strength without raising tensions. The message: we see what's happening, but we're not afraid. Taiwan is prepared and watching closely. This approach helps keep the situation stable. It's a quiet pushback against China's narrative. Calm, confidence, and vigilance define Taiwan's stance. China's words matched its military actions. Officials and state media emphasized national sovereignty and reunification. Just before the drills, a senior Chinese official called for peaceful reunification with Taiwan. But the language after the drills was forceful, talking about air blockades and precision strikes. The CCTV broadcast was more than news. It was propaganda, meant to intimidate Taiwan and rally support at home. By claiming to see Taiwan's coast, China made the threat feel immediate. China rejects talks with President Lai, calling him a separatist. Instead of dialogue, China uses military pressure to show its resolve. The message: China is losing patience and ready to act if pushed. These statements are aimed at Taiwan, the U.S., and the world. China wants everyone to know it's serious about Taiwan. The rhetoric and drills work together to send a powerful warning. The world is listening and watching closely. President Lai Ching-te's message is clear: peace requires strength. He believes Taiwan must be ready to defend itself to ensure lasting peace. Lai warns against trusting empty promises or paper agreements. Only Taiwan's people can decide their future. Democracy and self-determination are non-negotiable. Lai is cautious about China's intentions and prepares for the worst while hoping for peace. He's open to talks with China, but Beijing refuses to engage. This leaves Taiwan balancing military readiness with hopes for dialogue. Lai's approach: strong defense, open to peace, but never naive. Taiwan's freedom and way of life are at stake. The disagreement with China is about who decides Taiwan's future. Lai's message is strength with a willingness to talk. Taiwan stands firm, even as it seeks peaceful solutions. The world sees a leader determined to protect his people. The United States is a crucial player in this standoff. On the day of China's drills, Secretary of State Marco Rubio reassured Taiwan U.S. support remains firm. The U.S. follows the Taiwan Relations Act, promising to help Taiwan defend itself. Rubio's statement was a reminder to China and a promise to Taiwan. America balances official ties with China and strong, unofficial support for Taiwan. When Trump meets Xi, Taiwan's security is always on the agenda. Rubio's job: make sure Taiwan isn't forgotten in big power talks. The U.S. message: we won't trade away Taiwan's security. This support gives Taiwan confidence to stand up to China. America's promise is key to the region's balance of power. The world watches how the U.S. handles this delicate situation. Every word and action matters. U.S. support is a lifeline for Taiwan. This isn't just a local dispute, it's a global issue. China's show of force near Taiwan happened right before a major U.S.-China summit. Taiwan insists on self-determination. China demands reunification. The U.S. stands by Taiwan, promising support. These tensions affect the entire world. The Taiwan Strait is a vital shipping lane for global trade. Any conflict here would disrupt economies everywhere. That's why peace and stability in this region matter to everyone. Imagine a big power pressuring a smaller one, with a third power promising to help. The world is watching to see if diplomacy or confrontation wins. The stakes are high, and the outcome will ripple worldwide. Will peace hold, or will tensions rise? That's the question facing the world today.